I have been in Taipei for about 5 to 6 months, and finally I'm back in Singapore. I really hesitated a bit before doing this video because I felt that talking about career break, or at least myself taking a career break, might not be received well. And that's because for myself, when I first floated the idea of taking a career break to my family, the reaction wasn't good. I told my father that, oh, I've been working for 10 years and I need a break. And his reply is, how come I need a break when he doesn't and he has been working for 20 to 30 years before retiring? And I realized that perhaps maybe the older generation would think of it differently. So I was a bit worried about sharing my experience online. But then again, as I look at some of the reports out there are a lot of people in similar situations as I was in. In fact, I think it was recently reported that 1 in 3 Singaporeans are facing burnout. And also, this is an issue that particularly impacts Millennials and Gen Zs, given that we are in a workplace environment that has rapid technological change, blurred lines between home and office, and just this whole expectations of constant availability. On top of that, given all the retrenchments that we have been seeing in the job market, it is quite common for a lot of work that was previously done by more people to just fall on one person. And that can really lead to a lot of stress and burnout as well. So in this video, I want to talk a bit more about my career break, why I decided to go on a career break, how it's been, and also if you want to do something similar, what should you prepare as well? Why go on a career break? I guess the first reason is really my mental and physical health. So just for some context, I was one of the first few employees at a startup, helping to grow them. And over the past 2 to 3 years, I think they grew from maybe perhaps less than 5 people in Singapore all the way to 80, and I think now they are around 100 people. And during this time, while I've learned a lot, I found that it was taking too much out of my life. So my life when I was working there was just work, gym, home, and then repeat the entire cycle. So I had very little personal time and time for rest. I remember that during holidays, my boss would still call me. I would still have to work quite a bit. And one particular memory that stood out to me was during my uncle's wake. I think at that point in time, I still had to do some meetings and also answer some emails during the wake itself. And my father actually took a photo of me and doing that and sent it to me. And that made me reflect and realize that, hey, maybe perhaps there needs to be a better balance between my work and my life as well. And on top of that, it was also starting to affect my health. So I started to get rashes, and I went to check with the doctor, and she says that apparently it's a stress response and it's quite common, but to me, common doesn't mean healthy, right? And there were also other kinds of physical issues that I faced. I remember losing my voice entirely for about 4 to 5 days, and I couldn't do meetings. So all I was doing in office was preparing decks, or at least asking others to help me out as well. And the fact that I had to still speak really delayed my recovery. And I think living without a voice for those 5 days was really quite traumatic to me, because I couldn't even order food or ask people for help when I needed it. So all these events made me really reflect. On top of that, I guess because of the stress and not being able to cope well with the stress, I felt like I was becoming someone that I did not like, in a sense that I was easily upset, and I was just very negative in terms of my life outlook as well. I guess all these factors made me realize that, hey, my physical and mental health is not doing very well, and probably I would need to rethink this because it doesn't seem to be very sustainable. I guess being in a situation where my world was very small, just work, gym, office, also made me reflect quite a bit on this idea of identity, this idea of meaning and achievement. What do I really consider as a meaningful life, a rewarding life, and something that I'll be proud of? I guess in this capitalistic society, it is quite common for many people to base their self-worth with their work achievements or view a job as a source of their identity or a main platform in which they can achieve growth. So when they talk about things like maximize their potential, they are thinking about it in the context of within a corporate job or the office. For myself, I kind of associated a job with security and stability in life because in the past few years, I actually went through many life changes and a tough period. So there was a lot of instability in my life. But one thing that was going well for me and progressing upwards was actually my career. And therefore, I clung on to it because it felt like a source of predictability and stability, whereby your income is correlated with the effort you put in, at least for the kind of role I have. And I will get constant dopamine hits from the achievements on a quarterly, monthly basis as well. And I guess being in that kind of environment prompted me to really take a step back and reflect. So first, I realized that joining a startup doesn't mean that I will get meaning in life. Of course, being in a startup is more fun than corporate job, but at the end of the day, the company that I am in doesn't actually belong to me. And yes, I do have shares, but it's very little compared to what others would get. And I feel that associating a job with meaning is definitely not the best way in a situation whereby your job is mainly to generate profits and revenue. Of course, if you work as a fireman, nurse, or some meaningful job, then that's a different story altogether. And also, I felt that my achievements weren't impactful. Like, I would see the good numbers, I would see the award, but I would not have any feeling. So I got President's Club, but when I received it, I feel that, actually it's nothing special. A lot of people can achieve that. And in every company, there are people who do achieve President's Club. And as I was looking at the trophy, it just feels like something plastic that I just put in my house. And yes, I got the option to go on a holiday, but it didn't really feel like a holiday also because technically it's work. You have to talk to your colleagues there as well, and you can't just be yourself and be quiet. And I was also exceeding numbers consistently, and I know that it is nice from an income and also employability perspective, but that's not really my main definition of success in life, because if I look back on my life and the main achievement is just President's Club or achieving quota, then I feel that maybe that would be quite sad. So it really got me thinking about what I really define as a successful, happy life. And just this question was on my mind, like, am I wasting my youth by doing something that is not particularly impactful or meaningful, or just maybe not getting the experiences that I wanted or learning things that are different? By the way, if this is the first time you are watching my videos, my name is Geraldine Pia. I create content around work, cost of living, and the softer aspects of life such as caregiving and relationships. So if you're interested in content like this, through the perspective of a working professional, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up. Of course, to make this move, there are definitely a lot of fear. And I actually called and spoke to a lot of people who took a career break before embarking on one myself. And they include former bosses, friends, peers in the industry. So maybe I can talk about the fears I had and how I overcame them. So number one, I think there was this fear about re-entering the workforce again. How would employers actually perceive it? But if I think about it, I feel that, actually 1 year is not super damaging. And now that I'm interviewing again at the 6 months mark, I feel that people have been quite positive. They say things like, I wish I did that. Or, I also did that when I was younger. And they would view it as something interesting and ask about it as well. Of course, there was maybe one or two that didn't respond well. But the mindset that I was encouraged to take, and I do now, is that if they are not open to this type of life choices, then perhaps maybe they are not suitable for me. And also, another fear that I have was this idea of falling behind my peers. And I guess that is quite common in Singapore. You would think that, if I were to exceed, then during this time I didn't earn this amount of money, then I'll be poorer compared to my peers. And it's very human to think that way. But I feel that it's not the case. So I had a friend who went to do a startup in a different country, exited and stuff like that. And when he joined an investment bank, he was actually at a higher rank compared to his other friend who was just there working in the same job over the past few years. And so that made me realize that, okay, then taking a break doesn't mean that you are behind. So for example, I went to Taiwan to work, and now when I'm back, it's quite easy to get caught up for interviews because people see that, you have experience in a market that is entirely in Mandarin. Probably means you are someone who has a certain level of fluency in Mandarin, and that's something that they value as well. So for example, now that I'm back in Singapore, when I'm interviewing, sometimes my Taiwan experience is viewed positively because employers associate it with understanding of a market that they might want to go into, or having a strong language competency besides being good in English. I would really encourage you to reflect and think about this idea of falling behind your peers, because everyone has a different path. And if you don't subscribe to the linear, correct pathway of HDB, get married, climb the career level, the buy condo, benchmark salary with your peers, car, and stuff like that, and that's not your idea of success in life, then maybe perhaps you are walking a different path and then there's no competition per se. And I feel that for me, I have my different definition of success and happiness, so I don't really have to follow what everyone else is doing. And in fact, if I think about this whole idea of money, I don't really feel that I would need that few months worth of income, because in general, I've been quite financially responsible since I was young, so I built up some savings and stability for myself, and I don't really have massive material wants. I don't own a single branded bag because I don't like to use products that are made from animals. And also, I guess it's a Buddhist Taoist thing whereby we are not encouraged to cling or crave or hold on to material desires and wants, and just to have a more moderate relationship with them. If you are thinking about going on a career break as well, then here are some of the things that you need to prepare. I think the first thing is really having a strong why and a strong conviction. Whenever I make important decisions in life, I tend to write it out in journal, something like a decision journal or a thesis of something I'm going to invest my time and resources in. So I think having a good idea of why I'm resting, what I'm going to do during this time is going to be quite key. In my case, there were skills that I wanted to learn, and YouTube is just one of them. Learning how to film, speak better in front of camera, reduce pause fillers, and also just build up this platform. I guess the second thing that is quite important is ensuring that your resume looks okay. So for me, I could not leave my previous job before the 2-year mark. And that's because in my previous role, I was only there for maybe 1 year plus, given that I was laid off. And I know that with 2 short tenures on my resume, it's not going to look very good. So I definitely could not leave before the 2-year mark. And I know that it would put me at a huge disadvantage if I did. So timing is quite important as well. When you leave your organization, I guess what is useful is also to get a reference letter. So something that talks about the salary you grew, what was your role, and also why you left, so that you have like a documentation which you can use, and that will be helpful when it comes to applying for other jobs, using it for salary negotiations. And going back to the idea of timing, if you are owed some good bonuses or commissions, I feel that what would be helpful is to make sure you get the payout first. That means the money go inside your bank account already before you resign. You don't want a situation whereby you resign and then this amount is still owed to you in a sense. So that would be not very good. Yeah. So I guess these are the things that I will look for. And of course, the basics, just making sure that you have sufficient cash runway. If you need to service your mortgage, then you need to have sufficient funds. I tend to like to overestimate rather than under. So that's just me. And yeah, when it comes to applying for jobs again, then you also have to set a more conservative runway. So for example, I buffered myself about 9 months to 12 months to look for a role. And that would ensure that I don't rush into decisions and can just take my time when it comes to searching. So how do I feel now that I'm closer to the end of my career break? Do I have any regrets? For sure, there were many things that I could have planned better, but overall, I kind of wish I did it earlier. I remember at my 5th year of work, I already shared with my family that I wanted to take a break, but it wasn't received very well. So yeah, but I wish I kind of ignored that and just went on a break anyway. Because it's not good to delay gratification too much all the way to the end. And just sometimes spending time with yourself is going to be quite important. Furthermore, I feel that there's no better time to do it than now because I have little obligations. I don't have kids. So these are considerations that needs to be thought about mindfully and intentionally as well. So overall, no regrets. Really enjoying this time for myself. Are you thinking about a career break or so? And if you have any questions or thoughts or experiences to share, do leave them in the comments below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye bye.